zoom out? I'm not going to zoom out. Oh my God. Yeah, it's not going to zoom out. It's not going to. Welcome back to Cultivating with Sandra, and today is our first Thrive Thursday. Thank you for watching us and thank you for being here. The purpose of our Thrive Thursday is to make sure that we get prepared for our spring gardening. Sometimes many of us think that buying so many plants it become expensive. So the cheapest way, and I think the more organic way, is to actually plant our own seeds. So today we are going to talk about what materials we're going to need, what supplies we need to get, what is required, what is not required, what materials you may hear about that may be good for you and may not. So before we start, the supplies that we need is going to be some type of soil. So the soil that we are going to be looking at is we're going to start with cocoa coir. So I have a block of cocoa coir. It makes, I think, 3 gallons. Yeah, 3 gallons of soil. So we are going to be using this. Yes, you could buy already your seed oil, your seed soil already prepared, that you don't have to go through this process. But if you want to go this route, you will need cocoa coir. And what I'm going to do, because this one takes a while to expand, we are going to put this in here, and we are going to go ahead and add the water so it could be ready for us when it's time. So we'll add the water, and we'll see it expand. So we're going to need some cocoa coir, and we'll leave this right here. We are going to need some trays that have drainage holes. So right here, and once you buy one, you can recycle. I have this one that I have used in the past, and if you see it has drain holes in it. And we also need something to hold, which is this is called a 1020, that you could put here. You could actually buy the size that goes here. This is one I have handy, and I'm gonna be using it. So you need something so you could bottom feed your seedlings, and you need a seeding tray. Some of my seedlings will be growing in this little container dome, which it is comprised of a bottom seed to bottom feed them. It also has to hold the soil and the seeds. Then it has a little dome that goes with it. And I will add this in our description later in case you want to purchase. And almost all of these items were purchased through Amazon. If you find a place that provided cheaper, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. But this was a kit that I saw, I liked, and I purchased it. And to be honest with you, I just purchased another one. So it comes with this, and not only does it have the dome, it also has little lights. So it could provide its own light. And this is 6 of them with the 6 lights and the cord with the timer. It is very, very handy to have. Instead of buying all multiple things, you have it a one kit all in one. You also have its labels, which is one of our required supplies. Then we have a heating mat. A heating mat is not actually required, but because we are starting in the cooler months, And if your house doesn't stay as warm as it needs, between 75 and 79, which a lot of us do not like that temperature, then a heating mat will be beneficial, or a south-facing window, something that they could see. And the reason why we need it in the south, because the sun is a lot lower in the winter months, so the south-facing window will be great. Another supplies that we are going to use, um, it is worm casting, and I have a tub there. It's worm casting. Worm casting is important because it provides nutrients for the seedlings. Remember that every seed has all it needs when it comes to nutrients to sprout. It is after it starts growing, gets this true leaf, and it start producing, then we need to add some nourishment to it. But to start, you could just start with coco coir and you will be just fine. It is after that you want to add some nutrients. And also, I have a small amount of mushroom compost. This mushroom compost, I sifted it. I just bought a 5-gallon sifter, and I just sifted a small amount of it because I don't like the large particles that come in it. I want it to be not to I don't want it to obstruct any of the seedlings growing. And of course, you need your seeds. So we need and water. I have my water here, and we'll talk about this one, and we'll talk about spraying our seedlings. So organic soil or starting mix, the seed trays, the the tray bottoms, the seeds, the water, and the plants labels is what is required. Additionally, if optional, will be the heating mats, the grow lights, and then the humidity dome. And if I could, let me see if I could get this one down. This is what it looks like. This is a sorrel plant that seeds that I started a while back. And here's the dome. You can see the humidity. It has its light, and I haven't had to water it because the soil has stayed moisture. And it's also sitting on a heating mat. Okay, so let's check on this. And if you can tell, I don't know if you could get it in camera. This is the bottom part that is already have a lot of moisture. So we still need to add some more water. So this part that is super dry can come loose. So let's add some more water. What I have here is a 5-gallon of water. And rainwater is always best, but I haven't done my rainwater system. So what I do is I fill some water, and then I let it sit for a couple of a day or two. It says it's only required to be 12 hours, but I do 24 to 48 hours to get all that chlorine off. Okay, so now there are two ways. Can you give me some paper towels? There are two ways for you to plant. You could plant, let me move this to the side. You could plant based on your last frost date, or you could plant by the moon phases. I have never strictly stuck to the moon phases, although I hear there's a lot of benefits on it. So the belief is, and according to some of the research I have done, is that the first, after you have the new moon, the first week of the new moon, that's when you want to plant all of your leafy greens. The second phase, it would be when you plant your fruits, and then the next third would be when you plant your root vegetables, anything that's going to grow underground. And then the last week is where you tilt your soil, you take care of your soil. If you're doing compost, that's when you turn it, because it's this, according to the research, is the weakest part of the growing season. So what are we going to talk about today? So you have that option of planting by the moon or planting by the last frost date. So today, according to, and this is information that I also use from the internet, but there's a website. I'll think about it. It's the almanac, or growing with the almanac. So they have it set for us to be planting for the last month, for the December 8th through the 22nd, celery, rosemary. Those were supposed to be done December 8th through the 22nd. Also, if you were planting by the moon, it should have been done this December 19th through the 22nd for rosemary and celery. Then oregano, we have until the 19th of this month to plant. Bell pepper was supposed to be through the 5th. Ginger through the 5th of January. Jalapeno peppers to the 5th. Lavender to the 5th. Leeks, if you were planting leeks, to the 1st. Mint, onions, parsley, and thyme. So what do we gather from this? We are so behind, right? But no, not really. Because planting is, as long as you start before the last optional date. And those last day to plant fall back in August and September. So this is the earliest, technically, or the best time to plant them. So we are going to be planting some of those today. For some of these seeds that we have to do, it needs what we call cold stratification. What cold stratification is that some seeds need to feel that winter has passed before they start um, getting ready to germinate. So those are, and let me see if I can move my little tripod over here. Is it? Can you get it? Okay. So if you're planning on doing lavender, parsley, or tarragon, you want to go through cold stratification. Those are, it is strongly suggested for even germination, for better germination, for you to put those in a damp paper towel, damp your paper towel, put the seeds there, put it in a Ziploc bag, and stick it in the refrigerator. If you are watching me from an area that that is already cold, then you can actually put it aside. Some people already plant them because they'll go through those cold winter months, and then in the spring they'll sprout. Now there's also, so you put those 2 to 4 weeks depending on each one. Lavender, it is recommended 30 to 40 days. So if you want to plant lavender, it's still not too late. Even though we should have done it in December, go ahead and dampen a paper towel, put some of the seeds, depending on the seeds that you want to grow, and then put it in the refrigerator. And then we could look at it next month, and we could just plant those. And actually, I will be doing that because I have an herb garden that I will be starting soon, and I'm going to need some lavender. Parsley, on the other hand, it needs 14 to 21 days. And tarragon, it needs also 14 to 21 days. Now, on this side that you see in orange, this is optional. This one, you could put it between 7 to 14 days or 7 to 21 days for it to have a better germination. All of this is so you could have better germination, they call stratification. Have I planted some of this without having called stratification? Yes, I have. Has the rate been high, the success rate? No, it has not. So probably I planted like 10 plants. I believe of the rosemary, only one came. Of the sage, around half of them came. Celery, I did not have any success. And mint, this is what I do for mint, y'all. I needed some mint the other day. So I went to my local grocery store and I bought organic mint. And then what I did is I cut some of them and I put them in a jar, mason jar of water. And look at the roots. So guess what? I don't have to plant mint from seed because I went to the grocery store and they only had a huge container that I was not going to use. So I just planted. I just rooted some of them. And it's just plain water. You can use rooting hormones. And I think I have two, but I only see one. And this one is a rooting hormone that you can use. You can also use mycorrhizal, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, to help it, but it's not required. And I went ahead and just put plain water from the faucet. I did not let it sit for 24 hours. I just put it in there, and sure enough, they are healthy and growing. And I will be planting those instead of planting it by seeds. So you can actually do that. There's several things that you can do. Thyme, you could do it like that. Sometimes they sell parsley with the roots already. You could also plant that to save some time. So grocery, you could grow things from your grocery store easily. Okay, and so this, going back to this, this is optional, but it strongly it is recommended if you want a uniform way of germinating these. So let me move. Whoa, let me move this to the side. Hopefully I can without dropping it. Uh-oh. Oh, I see what happened. There we go. Okay, so let's go back to, I wanted to talk to you about two things that I just bought I have never used. And it is vermiculite and perlite. These two ingredients are, or materials or products, are marketed as organic for the organic garden. I want to be clear, these are not organic, but it is marketed for organic gardens. And the reason why is because it is not as processed as other material. So it does meet the criteria for you to be able to use it in an organic garden. Now, if you are looking, you have a soil that is not holding the moisture, it is very sandy, very light on the clay aspect, then you can add this because vermiculite allows holds moisture, and it also holds some of the nutrients that the plants may need later on. So if you are fertilizing, organic fertilization, if you are fertilizing, it can hold itself, multiple of it, with the moisture, and it provides the moisture and nutrients that was already available in the soil for later use. Now, this one, perlite, and we see perlite a lot in all of those new little plants that we buy in the store. And this one is, it helps the soil retain some water, but it's really for easy drainage. This is what you really want to use on any plant that you know, or any cuttings that you know that is going to rot if it sits in a lot of water. Then you can use perlite to use to amend your soil, but it's not required. I just wanted to go through some of these two things, ingredients that some people want to use, and that is fine. It is okay to use in an organic garden, but they're not required. But if your soil needs it, by all means, go ahead and use it. We will not be using these today. Maybe there will be an opportunity for us to use it, but that's not today. Okay, so right here we have our cocoa core, and it still needs some more water. Vermiculite and cocoa core do almost the same thing, based on the research. It is, the difference is that the vermiculite has more nutrients that cocoa cores do not. And cocoa core is byproduct of coconut, and then vermiculite is a byproduct that has to be heated so it could expand to where it is. Okay, I thought we were going to be a lot closer to this. So any questions that any of our guests have? The first one? Anybody has any questions? No. Not right now? Okay. Okay, so we are going to, if you are new to gardening and you have any questions about seed starting, you can always reach out to us, and we will gladly give you the info. But this is a process that you can learn the process together. Um, you can be, you can start small. Because with seeds, you only want to plant the seeds that you are going to grow, not necessarily, we don't plant everything. Like, for example, last year, I went ahead and planted 4 plants of eggplant because, it has nutritional value, it's good for you, blah, blah, blah. We did not like it. So make sure that you are going to plant things that replaces your current grocery bill. Because that will make your success a lot better because you are now replacing some of your grocery bill. And what I do is I plant things that I or my husband will enjoy. Like, I don't like greens. Don't get me to no bok choy, no whatever other greens. I did not grow up eating greens, and I tried it, and it's not my cup of tea. But I do grow it because mustard green and all that, because my husband enjoys it. So it may not, and he enjoys harvesting it and bringing it inside for me to cook it. So I will cook it. I just won't eat it. So right here we have our cocoa core that is moist. And also, even though you don't have all of the, if you don't have all of the items, you can still follow along. And when you have the items, you can, you'll be ready. Okay, so we have our cocoa core. And then what we're going to do is we are going to add, no, it's still, There's no water coming out. You're still gonna add some there we go. We're gonna add some worm casting and um some mushroom compost. Do you have to add worm casting? Remember, you do not have to for it to germinate. You just have to add some nutrients later. And my nutrients, I do compost tea. But right now we are just adding. We're gonna add some of this soil. We're gonna add some of the worm casting, and we're gonna get our plants, um, our plants, our seeds planted. Okay. So I'm gonna get the casting. And we are going to get some. Some of you may ask, well, how much? There's not an exact science to it, as much as you want. What you want to do is that you can never add too much. It is so your plants could have some nutrients. And if you see the dark spots, that is your worm casting in here. And the reason that I'm doing all of it is because I got a lot of planting to do. And then we're gonna add this little bit of mushroom compost. It does not require to have mushroom compost. I just do it once again for the extra nourishment that it may need later on. So I'm going to fill one up and let's talk about the seeds that we can plant today. And let's fill this up. And what I do is that we fill loosely. I do not compact these. One question is that where do I get my seeds? I get my seeds wherever seeds are being sold. So I'll show you in a little bit. I have purchased seeds from the Dollar Tree and they have been successful. Actually, my Kenyan pepper plant came from seeds from the Dollar, and it is one of my most prolific pepper plants that I purchased. So let's look at the seeds. I have purchased from, and all of y'all could use gloves. I just don't like using gloves, but I did found one that I really liked, and I'll show it to y'all later. So my jalapeno peppers came from the Dollar Tree. It was 4 package for $1.25. And the reason I bought this, it was to see how their germination rates were. And they had a pretty good germination rates. I have gotten seeds from Southern Exposure. I have gotten seeds from Baker Creek. I have gotten seeds from Botanical Interest. What else? What other seeds do I have? And I have done my own harvested seeds, which what you do is you just go and you, this one is Carolina Reaper. Um, once again, I don't do jalapenos. That's my husband, and he loves it. So I just harvested some of them. I just scraped the seeds, let it dry, and put it in here. The one of the ones that I do peppers that if you have to decide what kind of peppers you want, and you want it to be medicinal and beneficial,